Anyhow, hello and welcome to MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans come to congregate and fanboys fear to tread.
Well done, kid.
Yeah,
Happy Christmas, Chicky Poo. Happy Christmas.
Embrace another Christmas. So maybe we'll get Santa to buy himself a motorcycle instead of the old damn sled. That got to get old, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
Snow with elves, you know?
That's it. And sure, look, if you're watching today, obviously we're not shooting it live on Christmas Day. But just wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that good stuff. And if you don't celebrate it, Happy Monday.
Yeah, but we do. Merry Christmas. We're going to be un-PC. We're going to be non-woke. We're saying Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, yeah. So you'll notice just over the top of my head here, there's a helmet missing. So one of my favorite things to do about Christmas is to do the Christmas shopping with the motorbike. You know, so when you go into the city is fucking jam-packed with cars and everyone fighting for things, and you know, like 2-hour traffic jams to get into the city, and then you just roll up in the bike, filter up through the lot of them, park it on the main street of the city, do your 5-minute shopping, back home again. So you're in and out, including doing your shopping, in 45-50 minutes.
I don't know how you guys filter. We're not allowed to filter in most places in the United States, and it was scared the shit out of me going through. I get to see people just because they'll just turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm in talks actually at the moment with a company called Cambox, and they make a really exciting camera where you put it just inside the lid of your helmet, so it literally sits here. So you get a full view of what the rider sees. So, because I think I might do a few videos, because like there's some fucking decent roads around Ireland where you can do. So I was thinking might do a few videos with it. So I'm just talking with them at the moment about the camera and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah. So I suppose few things on the go this week. Alberto Puig, I fucking love him. Like he's a terror, right? But I absolutely love him. Like he comes out with the most fucking obvious statement of the year. Do you know what I mean? And like it kind of wasn't one to remember. Of fucking course, like, do you know what I mean? Of course, but you know, I think it was actually probably the most genuine interview that he did. Right, because he couldn't fucking hide from anything, right? You know what I mean? Right. They were asking about the results, and they're like, "Yeah, it's not the best one for Repsol Honda." You know what I mean? And what did they do? And I think, like I think for Puig, like he must be and must have been like as a person, right? And it's like when I talk about Puig, I talk about Puig the professional. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like he's coy and he's he'll never give anything away, and he'll kind of stop short on something and let you make up your own mind on something rather than tell you the actual facts, you know. But like, as a person, I'd say it must be fucking dreadful to be under the pressure from Honda that he's under, you know.
Especially since they're telling him what to say. Let's not kid anybody. You know what I
mean? Yeah. And I think, you know, also I suppose there's another kind of aspect of it as well, is that like he's the manager that lost Marc Marquez.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a whole lot of things coming. And then like currently with Brivio, you know, being released from Alpine, pressure must be ramping on him to say, you know, your man's looking for your job, you know what I mean? Or they have already agreed it and he's on his way out.
So it's not a done deal yet.
No, it's not a done deal. It's just very funny timing that about 4 weeks ago, Brivio said, "Yeah, I'm very happy here in Alpine," when he was originally linked with it. And then kind of a couple of weeks had passed, and then all of a sudden he left Alpine. Do you know what I mean? Now his ride in Alpine was, I don't think, suited him. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't happy there. He went in there with a belief of one thing, and then he ended up being completely different and being pushed off into another direction. So I think it's kind of a weird one, and it was kind of weird to see Pooch on the back foot in the way of. I would nearly say that was the most genuine interview that he'd done, and is that because he's halfway out the fucking door now that he can do that interview? Do you know what I mean? He's not going to get a slap in the wrist, but look, I thought it was interesting.
Him down to get the truth out of him. I mean, I remember Alan Crafar had pushed him to get the simplest answer out of him. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. It's just like, I would say he's just like Ayrton Senna in the way that he'll leave you decide whether you want to have an accident or not in the corner. Do you know what I mean? He will leave you make up your own mind because he leaves things so kind of ambiguously open, But also Massimo Marigali, who is the team manager of Yamaha, he gave a fairly candid interview as well quite recently. And it was shocking. It wasn't shocking, but they knew at the start of this season they were fucked. They knew at the start of the season they were fucked. Like, how can you sit in your fucking hands for a year knowing you're fucked? Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't compute with me. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're fucked at the start of the season. You brought absolutely nothing throughout the season.
Yeah.
A fucking fork winglet. What you fucking do, like, do you know what I mean? And then you wait till the last possible opportunity that you have to try new aerodynamics and stuff that has already been run for the whole fucking year by other teams in front of you. Like,
I just think they didn't want to spend the money. I really breaking down to more and more as they don't want to spend the money. That's why they kept in line.
What surprised the shit out of me was that aero that was run in Valencia was designed in Italy. I bet you that was in-house in the Italian base of Yamaha.
Well, at least Yamaha is going to European engineers. That gives them more of a chance to win. Instead of Honda, who's saying they're going to European engineers and doesn't.
Well, I reckon Honda now are using Aston Martin, to be honest.
You think so?
Their work is far too detailed for someone just to take a stab in the dark of it. Has to be. That's not now look like fucking. Well, yeah. Oh, that line looks like that line looks aerodynamic. Let's follow that line. Do you know what I mean? It's far too advanced for that. Do you know what I mean? So I reckon that they're already using the tie-up with Aston Martin.
You don't think they have a guy like me with a cigarette done? Yeah, how they look? Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna measure it, Joe. I'm gonna blow on the fairing with the smoke and see what way it deflects. Yeah. No, I think it's look, it's very worrying for Yamaha, and like what Marigali said is that we knew at the start of the season, we decided not to complain, i.e. you were told shut the fuck up, right, and get on with it, and the riders were too. But what he was actually saying was actually quite smart, and when you look at it, like what happened in 2022 makes an awful lot of sense. Things like, in 2022, Ducati fucked up at the start of the season. They didn't have the bike ready. Aprilia was quite strong, but Yamaha already had its base setting in 2022, so it flew off the mark, right? But towards the middle and end of the season, the Red Baron or Ducati,
after that,
found the setting, found the setting and overhauled them. And it makes sense, do you know what I mean? But what he was then saying is that because the bike didn't change too much from 22 to 23, let's be fair, hasn't changed much since 2019. But because it didn't change too much in 2023, and Ducati and the likes of them came in with a much better setting for the 23 bike, they were exposed then badly. Do you know what I mean? That it was like, oh shit.
Oh, I don't. He was getting interviewed, and by Aaron, whatever his name. But he said we're between a rock and a hard place. we add power, it screws up the handling. We don't, you know what I mean? And if we don't have power, then they're walking away from us, which really surprised me for a guy to come right out like that and say it.
Yeah, well, I don't think he had any choice, right? The power. Okay, they did improve the power. They did improve their straight line speed.
Mm-hmm.
They did improve overall in that department, but it's just that they're so far behind technology wise that it's mind boggling and baffling if you get me.
Right.
As a fan of Yamaha, you're like, oh, fuck's sake, like, you know what I mean? How could you be so far behind? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just like, like, and he said it himself, like, he was going off to races knowing that it was going to be a terrible weekend unless something surprise happened. Like fucking rain or fucking, do you know what I mean? Everyone else fell off W1. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was and like everyone knows, like going into work ready to get a bollocking from your boss, like, do you know what I mean? You're like, oh fuck's sake, like, do you know what I mean? This is going to be a shit one, like, you know. So pretty difficult. And then I suppose for me, one of the big things this week, like, no, it's not a really big thing, but like I always hate losing a character from the paddock. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the three amigos splitting up now is a big enough thing for me. Like, do you know what I mean? With Chibati going off to Ducati off road.
Yep.
Because like the one thing that I love about Chibati is like you get a little bit of information out of him. Maybe that little bit more than you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
No, look, like he is in charge of communications and all that. So like he knows.
Exactly. He would get a little excited when he talked, and that's when he'd get a little excited. You'd hear stuff. You'd hear a little bits.
Yeah. Now, like for me, I always look. He's not gone out of the roads altogether. He's still going to be involved in BSB, World Superbikes, Australian Superbike, and that. But he's going to be a general director of the off road. But my suspicious mind has a little bit of a thing. Is like I wonder, and I genuinely wonder. We know that there was there was discussions within Ducati about Marquez going to Ducati, and not all were agreed on him going. Do you know what I mean? And I just wonder, did he lose that fight?
What do you mean?
Did Chibati lose that fight? Was he one of the ones either against it or for it or whatever? Within the ranks, is there a little bit of politics going on within? I was saying that Gigi is the boss. Do you know what I mean? So Gigi makes the final call. Do you know what I mean? No matter what anyone else thinks. But I wonder, was there a little bit, because like realistically, as I call them, the three amigos, like, do you know what I mean? They're as fucking thick as thieves together. Like, do you know what I mean?
Right.
So look, yeah, for me, it's kind of a shame to lose him from the.
But you know what? If they're sending one off to they're sending one off to the off-road division, that means they got a backup. They're not going to send somebody off to the off-road division without having a solid backup.
They already have this fella ready to go inside.
I mean,
there, right?
What I'm saying is they got a good, solid backup if they let him go, because they're not going to do that without,
Yeah, look, I find it interesting why all of a sudden, Joe, has been like they have a successful management team around this MotoGP. Joe, I mean, why fuck with that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, if it's not broke, why not? You know me. If it's not broke, don't fix it. We have good racing, leave it alone. But
yeah, look, I get it to tinker with it.
I think they have this. I think they're putting a lot into that off-road thing.
Maybe so. Maybe it is a genuine. Yeah, maybe it's a genuine move. But I don't know. It's a big move to make. Do you know what I mean? To get rid of one of the three amigos, in my view. Do you know what I mean? Especially with
I think this motocross is a big deal to them, because Christ, they went into it and Triumph went into it. I mean, both of them, both feet first. Boom.
Oh yeah. Look, I know. I just find it interesting. Do you know what I mean? But I still find it weird then, though, that he's still in charge of the roads as well. Some of the stuff on the roads. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and then because especially as well because of what Bartoloni leaving as well, and that's a big coup for Yamaha to be honest, to get Bartoloni over there. He's a chassis guy.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they have Yamaha's Ducati does not have a big enough budget to where they can't stop poaching. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is.
Mm.
They only sell 65,000 bikes, and that's a record. So,
but it's
ways.
But it's not. It's just against their philosophy. Full stop. Like Chabati said it. Like he's like, Mark coming to the factory team. Yeah, anyone is possible coming to the factory team.
Mm-hmm.
But they were very publicly clear, saying, "Mark, you're not going to get the money that you want."
Right? Yeah. Right. We don't have it.
It's not. It's not that they don't have it or whatever. It's not a case of that. It's just completely against the way they do it. You know what I mean? They do not like. It's gone are the days that the best rider on the best bike equals the marriage made in heaven. Do you know what I mean? That you're a multi-millionaire and fucking this and that.
Somebody contradicted and said, "Oh no, you're wrong. Ducati has the biggest budget." No, they don't, folks. Just because they have 8 bikes out there, those 8 bikes are sponsored by.
No, what they were talking about that, and they are receiving funding from Audi.
Well, yeah, but they still doesn't bring them up to the budget that the others do.
No. But look, let's put it this way: there's a solid backer there. Do you know what I mean?
They all have solid backers. You know what I mean? We're not talking nickels and dimes of backyard unit, but the KTM sells twice as many bikes as Ducati, and just because you have 8 bikes does not mean you have the most money. Those 4, they have 4 bikes that they sponsor and 4 bikes that they're getting paid for by sponsors. And they get paid. They pay that sponsorship well. They pay that Ducati well. To get in there.
Listen, you're not. But what they reckon is like $2 million a bike a year. Is what a satellite team pays. Which is not in the scheme of things. It's not a lot of money. Do you know what I mean?
They're not making money. I wouldn't say they're making money hands over fist, but they're not losing money. If you put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. And like they probably like any other race team is like, it's not actually on the race car or bike or whatever that you make your money. It's fucking spares.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Crash damage. I just thought it was funny. And then Bartoloni going, like, for me, that's a real coup for Yamaha, as I mentioned, because he fully understands the vehicle dynamics of the Ducati.
Yeah.
Like, my view, that's stealing a junior Gigi.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he understands what's going on, how it works, why it works, what's the news. He doesn't need to know the horse or the outputs of the engine and whatever. You know what I mean? He just needs to understand how the bike pivots, rolls, and this.
And for Yamaha, that's a big coup, because they're the ones have to go into to get that V engine started, that the V4 project moving.
Yeah, I genuinely don't see it. I don't see that happening, though. I don't see them going to a V until the 2027 rigs. Genuinely don't.
What's that?
That Yamaha will go to a V.
You don't think so? Why?
Not till 2027.
Not till 2027. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on the same page. Yeah. I don't think they're going to tomorrow, but I'm sure they're working it in the background.
Oh yeah, look, that has to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The background, and they have to do it in the background, which I find. I don't know. Now, look, I suppose it is kind of interesting. All right, like with them, see what it happens. Like, there's a few good people that are in Yamaha now, and I like what I would class as like your man who's a GG junior, and then you have Marmoni on the engine. Do you know what I mean? I think it's the potential, if they understand, like, what they really need now is a good fucking aerodynamicist to understand what is going on with the bike. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they have to put aero on it, right? They don't have enough horsepower to do it, so they need a chassis guy, which they now have. and I must try and find out where did they get the aero done. It'd be very interesting to see.
It's not NASA. I can tell you it's not NASA, and I can tell you it's not Boeing.
Who? Yamaha?
Yeah, I tell you it's not NASA and it's not Boeing.
Well, it wouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I keep telling my nephew
they need the wings to go the other way.
Yeah, I said, told my nephew to go over. I said, come on, why don't you go over? You know, that's what he does. I have two in the family, you know. So when you hear me say something, it's coming through somebody else. I say it because
yeah, well, look, I would the only kind of thing to this. Like, I think I would agree with you on the fundamentals of the aerodynamics, right? But these guys that are doing the bikes now and the Formula One cars, you know, they're a little bit more advanced. Let's just say in that way now. Do you know what I mean? The fundamentals are there, but how do they get those bikes to turn or the wings in an F1 car, especially the things like ground effect, right?
Yeah,
they're fucking invisible. Do you know what I mean? And I was watching this thing there, driver, I can't remember what the fuck it is, where he's trying to drive a car upside down in a tunnel.
Yeah, I gotta get one day. I gotta twist his arm and get my nephew to talk to you because he knows this stuff backwards and forwards.
Oh yeah. I 100% get it, but like as we say, you know, I'm sure there's a major difference between F1 to airplanes to motorbikes. Do you know what I mean? There's a special.
I said that to him, and he goes, "You know what? It really kind of all melds together." Yes, but he's he's horrible.
Overall,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, look, the overall things are similar, but I remember in the Scarab saying, do you know what I mean, that there is quite a difference in what is generated and what how would I say? Yes, you're trying to create, say, downforce, but you're also trying for the opposite side not to create downforce, but not to create drag also. Do you know what I mean? So it's a different challenge to a car or a fucking plane where, how would I say it? There's a larger surface area, I suppose, to play with. What else was going on this week? Actually,
on the motorcycle side, was it Kawasaki's talking about not doing a Kawasaki shirt? See, I'm not all European. Yeah, got a Kawasaki shirt.
AliExpress special.
Yes, they are. $2. Yeah. You're talking about going away. Get this, stepping away, not having dealer networks. That's not
really
good. Yes. So is Suzuki. Yeah. Well, Suzuki's they're so bad. They're almost they're almost belly up. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
I know. Look, it works for Tesla
because they're not in deep trouble because they have such a big base, but they're scared to death of the Chinese coming in. They don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, but like Tesla doesn't have
that's electric
dealers. Do you know what I mean? Well, sorry, in Ireland anyway, they don't have dealers. They have collection points.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if you need to get your
head out here, it goes over like a lead balloon. Yeah.
I think like
Ford lost $4 billion in electrics. We have a president that's pushing these things. You have to have them in 2 years. He wants to make sure in 3 years. He wants to have all cars electric, right? And nobody wants them.
Ambitious. Man, though, if you ever drive them, they're a class to drive. Actually, they're fucking quick. Like, they are really, really quick.
Okay, well, I'll skip the quick for not sitting there and not have to wait. I want to go quick. I'll get on my bike. I don't want to sit there behind a charging station.
Funny that you mentioned this, right? Because I went to the Northwest 200, which is right up the northwest of Ireland, right? So I'm right down the bottom. That's on right up the top. For America now, it's not a long drive, but in the likes of Ireland, it is. I think it was like 500 kilometers or 600 kilometers or whatever. And I was in a Tesla, and I drove car. So I had herself and the young fella with me when we went, and we said we stop in Dublin overnight because you know the way kids are, and they're fucking pissing you off in the back seat.
Yeah.
So I said we would stop, and we drove from Cork to Dublin, which is what 250, 300 kilometers, and then we charged while at the hotel, and then we went up, and I charged just before I went into Ballybunny, actually. So I went the 500 kilometers on 2 charges. I still had loads both times when I was there. Right? So I think obviously we were stopped the first time overnight because we were away, so it didn't impact us. And the second time we were stopped for 17 minutes. Right? And the car was back full again. And the trip from Cork to the Northwest 200 race cost me €14. Now, the total trip in total, I think I worked it out, and it was like €45 is what I spent over the course of the 4 or 5 days or whatever, right? Because we were pricking around up there as well. Mainly driving the course when you were after the racing had finished, right?
Right. But in your country, isn't the EV charge subsidized?
No.
No, it's not?
No. But you would have done it right, and sorry, not right. So, like if you go to the very fast chargers, right? They charge you whatever it is, 70 cents a kilowatt, and if you have an 80 kilowatt battery, of course, it's going to cost you more. But it cost me 40 odd euros to 45 something was what it cost for the weekend. Now at the time, diesel, which I have a 320 Beamer, and she has a 65 litre tank.
Okay.
And it was nearly €2 a litre. Okay.
Right.
So to fill the tank is 120 quid. Right.
Yeah, right.
And to do the 1,200 kilometers, it would have cost me a tank of fuel.
Oof.
Right.
Yeah.
So look, if you charge at the high power stations, yes, it's going to fucking kill you, right? If you charge at home at night, like there's not very many people do 500-600 kilometers a day, the average person, right? So you go to work, you do 60 kilometers, right? It probably costs you maybe, 22 cents a kilowatt? So maybe you might need to charge for 2 hours. Just say 2 hours when you get home. Probably costs you €2 a day for your travel. So €10, or €14 a week. Do you know what I mean? So if you charge your car at home every night, electric cars are by far 50 or 60% cheaper. Not forget about the environmental shit and all that.
Yeah.
If you're running litre for litre or kilowatt for litre or whatever, the electrics are cheaper.
And here's the killer. Okay, see this little heater, right? This heater, little whatever, right?
Yeah.
Our grid is so screwed up that you can't even run that. Everything will shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll shut down. It'll burn it up for hours. I mean, if everybody turns it on, you'll be done. Your electric will be out for days. Yeah,
well, that's where it comes in. So there's two things. There's a load in the future of this. So there's one thing there where you can. I know we're off topic on bike, but like this is coming from bikes too, unfortunately, where you could do your delayed charge, so you charge overnight. So like in Ireland, it costs like 45 cents a kilowatt during the day, right? But at night it's 22 cents. So they entice people to charge when there's no draw on the system, if you know what I mean.
Show because they're going to be pulling their hair out because nobody wants the electric. Nobody wants those electric bikes at all.
I was actually at the BMW dealer there the other day talking again, trying not to buy a bike, and there was one of them actually. The only way I think that the electric bikes will work is if they don't look like normal road bikes.
Or they don't try. If they don't try, they try to make it like a car. You're saying like a smooth.
No, Joe, like a
outside and
kind of like an old Joe. How is it, like a monkey bike or fucking something like that? Do you remember those Honda monkeys and whatever? Kind of small little quirky bikes. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
Not necessarily big bikes. Do you know what I mean? But it's just kind of like small little quirky bikes,
like a scooter type thing.
scooter, yeah, kind of like hybrid scooter. You know what I mean? Where it's kind of for zipping around the place rather than
They're trying to actually get somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, as in like here's my Yamaha R6 with a battery. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you lean over, you're not getting fucking back up. Like,
Yeah, right. Ducati just did it. By the way, Ducati's not watching the environment. All they did was they did that so they could get credits on the emissions on their gas bikes.
Yeah. Well, look, carbon emissions and carbon credits and all of this. It's going to be a massive thing in the next few years for all businesses. I think there's something for 2026. I think 5 that you have to prove in the EU anyway. You have to prove your business is carbon centric or carbon. Anyway.
Oh, you don't know how screwed up.
I'll be well fucking dead. My young fella will be well dead, and his children will be well dead before we really get in trouble. So it'll be grand. So it'll be fine. Fucking burn it up. Like I still love going into the shed, starting the 250.
Yeah.
Filling the shed full of white castrol oil, pure white smoke. My neighbours, when they first moved in, they thought it was a fucking druggie, like, you know what I mean? Because I'd start the bike, I'd rev it, because I'd have the door closed, and next time I'd come out and there'd be just big, massive plumes of white smoke, like, you know what I mean? They're like, what the fuck is he doing? Anyway, so we're going to have a bit of fun, Jake. You don't know about this. This is a complete surprise.
Complete surprise. Okay.
Yeah, so love to catch you off guard. So, best crash of the season.
Best. God, I hate to say it because I hate crashes. The biggest crash?
Best crash.
I would have this. Am I thinking the other season? I'm getting mixed up. I would have to say, I think it Marquette now. Mandalika was last year, right?
Yeah.
Christ, I can't even think of a big best crash. I would have to be Martin when he went down, when he was totally lost. He didn't know why he was going to go down. He lost the front end the second to last race, I'd say.
Okay, that was kind of. I won't say it was funny, but it was kind of funny seeing his reaction to it.
He went,
"What the fuck?"
Yeah. What has happened?
I think for me it was definitely Marquez and Zarco in Sachsenring when he wiped out the front of.
Yeah.
I think that was it. Or the second kind of, it was a nearly crash, was when Marquez gave the finger to Honda. The bike.
Yes.
Down to
the finger to the bike. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the funniest one for me. Pass of the season. What was your favorite pass of the season?
Oh man, that would have to be that would have to was it God, I'm trying to get the guys when they did the double pass when they passed Bender and the KTM guy and the one pro guy when the guy made the double pass at the last minute at the last corner. Was it when Maverick Vinales, I think it was. Remember he passed two people at the last corner?
Yeah, but he didn't win the race though.
What?
He didn't win the race.
Didn't win the race.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But it was a phenomenal pass. When he took that just whole hell bent for leather and passed two people with one shot.
Yeah. For me, I have to think it was actually Marquez and Pecco in Le Mans, where Mark was just pushing Pecco and just nudging him to the side, and you can see it really pissed Pecco off. Really.
Yeah, it did.
For me, it was when I was looking at it, like the pass wasn't spectacular because it was just going on the inside, but he just nudged him. Do you know what I mean? But it was the perfect amount of nudge not to cause any damage, not to hurt the. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I'm going to move you maybe 4 centimeters offline. That's all. Do you know what I mean? So that was definitely one of them.
Now, is it my imagination now? Mm-hmm. But when Marquez signed for Ducati, all of a sudden, they were allowing him to tow easier. Nobody was bitching as much. When he went to tow,
Pecco was fucking demented with him. Yeah. Like Pecco was demented with him, to be fair, right? And like it's funny because Marquez, like the majority didn't.
After he signed it, it was the man. I know he was really pissed before, but it seemed like
he was still pissed with him for doing it. Like it's not the actual toe, I think, that was pissing him off. It's the fact that he was just too close. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
And Marquez's reactions were not necessarily where they needed to be. So yeah.
You're talking about that one time, Christ, Marquez was towing behind.
Yeah,
and he's going, I'm following. He's like, yeah, I'm not letting off, and he just kept following him and following him and following him, regardless.
Yeah, look, he's known to do that. You know what I mean? So,
and that's wrong. You know what? I don't care if he went to Ducati or not. He should not be. He should not be towing.
Yeah, he should. Look, yeah, but that's not going to change. Okay, and this is the big one. Your rider of the year.
Martin. I'd have to say Martin. That's the most improved. It has to be Martin.
I would disagree. Do you know who I'm going to go with?
It's probably Zarco.
Nope.
Oh, your boy from the
No, not Augusto. Not Augusto. No. Not Pecco.
Pecco, man, you're running out of. Oh, who do you always love? The Australian.
Jack? No.
Jack.
No, Jack would be the rider I want to go out on the beer with, right? 100%. Like, you know what I mean? Did I shock you?
Yeah, I'm now curious. You're running out of people. I mean, is it anybody?
Fabio Di Giannantonio. Right, from me, rider of the year.
Yeah, like your buddy, the one you're looking at. You always said for the rookie.
That's Augusto Fernandez.
Oh.
Yeah, Fabio Di Giannantonio is my rider of the
year. Oh no. Yeah, we're way apart on that one. We're way apart on that. I don't think he's
the reason he's my rider of the year was that before the summer break, all the news was on about Marc Marquez moving, right?
Right.
So from the summer break, this guy was literally out in his fucking ass, right? There wasn't a seat available for him. Do you know what I mean? At all.
Right.
And he gave the biggest two fingers on middle finger. It was two fingers in one hand, the middle finger in the other hand to everyone, and fucking stunned the world. For me, once you get kicked out of the paddock, you're out. So it's very rare that you get back in. And the fact that they found something and he wrote that, because, like, let's be fair, he fucking passed Pecco in Qatar, right? And if he was going to be a team player by fucking Ducati, he would have shut his mouth and said nothing, let Pecco win, but not, he fucking went for it. Do you know what I mean? So I reckon, now, I don't know, but I reckon, like, for me, the amount of pressure that he was under, because his dream could have been over. Do you know what I mean? Realistically. And he performed the way he performed. But he did it in a fucking super clean way. Not giving out. No, like if he fucked up, I fucked up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he had a great race, I had a great race. Do you know what I mean? And it's just the kind of happy story that you see then, that all of a sudden things moved around and he got landed in it. Now, I do think next year, though, is going to be tough for him. It's going to be tough for Marquez. I still reckon Marquez was on a 22 in the Valencia test, which would probably make a little bit of sense to me. Because you wouldn't want to they wouldn't want him riding the latest spec. Mm-hmm. Then, like, he's still contracted to Honda. Do you know what I mean? There's not the trust there between Ducati and Marquez yet that you would think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's over in Japan, he's getting grilled. I don't give a fuck what any.
No, of course he is. Thing is, Marquez, he's not that bright, so
So he probably give it away.
Yeah, he can give him all he knows and still ain't giving him shit. You know what I mean? So
I don't know though, and that's what I genuinely don't know. Like, if you can give someone in trouble, an immediate reference point, and say, and look, he's smart enough to turn around and say, well, look, when I come off the brakes, this is what the front of the bike is doing. But it's for the engineers to determine that, like the rider, there's no rider out there that understands fully how the suspension works and this, that, and the other. But they're very good at giving how the bike feels, what it's doing when turning, coming off the brakes, on the throttle. So for me, when I look at it, I still don't think Ducati gave him the latest, even the B-Spec 2023. Do you know what I mean? The one that Zarco was running. They may have given him that one, but my understanding is that there's going to be a bigger gap between the 2024 Ducati and the 2023.
Yes.
Now, I was reading what Pecco was saying with a lot of interest, actually, because what Pecco was saying is that the 2024 bike, the balance is similar to the 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they rock the engine back or forward slightly in the frame or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And we all know how dominant he was on the 22.
Yes.
Right? So it's playing. So I think it's bringing it back into his strengths, if I'm honest. So I think it would be quite interesting to see. I think it'd be very interesting to see how he actually. Now they haven't really worked on the chassis or anything like that. It wasn't a new chassis that they were running, but I think there was an adjustment to a chassis. Do you know what I mean, or the weight, or to the weight distribution within the bike. And again, it'll be interesting when you see a Honda next to a Ducati. And the other thing, actually, because I was watching the testing the other day, right? I know these quirky things that you notice during the testing. Enea Bastianini is very short.
Yeah.
Right?
Even among them.
Right? And when he goes out onto the track, right? So he throw the way the lads take the bike out of the front of the garage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They hit the rear right height device and they push it down so that he can throw his leg over.
Maybe they should get him a little stool. You know what I mean?
Will you have fuck off now with the stool? I'm telling you, if a fucking stool ever comes out in MotoGP,
I'm telling you, my nephew's going to come over and talk to you and say, "Listen, calm down. They're not going to go that far."
Listen, you go back and you look at the last F1 car.
Enough of the
but the last F1 car of the 2019 season, maybe 20, maybe 21, right? Where there was a barge board section that's supposed to be a single fucking thing, right? Like, and it ended up being fucking, I don't know, maybe 18 inches, 19 inches wide.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? With all that, and you're just like going, are you for fucking real? Like, do you know what I mean? You can't even step into the car. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, no. It's not a fucking car if you can't step into it. Anyway, don't get me started on Formula 1 because it's annoying me at the moment. So I think overall, the season has been. I've been pretty happy with it, to be fair. Do you know what I mean?
It's been a great season. We have great racing. Like I said, don't fix it. The only thing I see is if we're going to do with the aero, put a moratorium, say we'll leave it where it is, and then go with active suspension and see if that can't make up the difference.
Like with the aero, I would disagree. I would just say just regulate the aero. That's all.
That's what I'm saying. That's what a moratorium says, that you have it and you leave it where you're at. And then what you say is you have leave it where it's at. And then you bring in the active suspension and say, okay, how is that going to correlate with the aero and the active suspension? Can we balance it?
Yeah, look, I don't like electronics. I think with what they have already with the traction control and this and that and the other, I don't like setting them up. I just think these are the best guys in the world.
But they're not good anymore, pal. I'm telling you, they're just not. God didn't make it that way anymore. I can see in Moto 2. Moto 2 shouldn't have shit for shine all on it. That should be the bike, the guy, his ass, his hand, and that's it. But not MotoGP. They're just Let them
Yeah,
go.
I don't know. Look, I just think I'm very afraid of the aero war that is pending, and it is 100%.
Yeah, but like I said, like my nephew and cousin, both of them said that it's gonna, if it's a war, it's gonna be a wee little war because there's just not enough to work with.
There is. Fuck it. Like, look.
That's their business. That's what they do. That's why they got a doctorate. Not only are they good at it, they're the bosses of it.
Yeah, I'm not saying, but I just think like designing a plane, designing a motorbike, while the fundamentals are there, I'm sure Red Bull and the likes of Aston Martin, and there's a fair price being paid for their aerodynamicists to have a look at the aerodynamics of their bike. You know, the rolling road, and like we talked an awful lot about this with Scarbs, the rolling road, they're developing how to make the bike lean on the rolling road. You know what I mean? There's massive fucking development going on within it. Do you know what I mean? So they can simulate down to a T what it is, and I don't know. I think it's a Pandora's box that just needs, and the only thing I'm just saying with it is not get rid of it. I don't think I agree. It definitely helps in braking. You know, there's the positives and negatives going around the corner. Depends on what setup that you have, or you're running on their front, for example.
Mac, we have a much bigger fish to fry, and that's that 850cc bit.
That's not you're more worried about 2 years time than
2 years time. Yeah, but that's just so huge. I mean, that's like saying, yeah, I'm worried I'm going to die one day, because it's you're changing the whole bike. Everything's going to start out from square one. And I wouldn't mind if the economy was good, but with the economy crazy, like I said, we got Kawasaki saying they're going to not have a dealer network, and Suzuki is bankrupt, and Yamaha's thinking about it.
Yeah, but look, there's plenty of models out there, Jake, on the dealer networks. There's plenty of models out there where you buy your bike online.
No, yeah,
it's not,
but it's not gonna. The point is, it's the state of the union of motorcycles.
Yeah, but that's what it is. Like I personally,
the revenue's being killed, you know.
But yeah, look at it, right? We had 22 races last year in MotoGP, right? Crash put out a thing that they got 2.8 million people trackside out of 22 races. That's like 130,000 people per race.
Mm-hmm.
That's a race weekend. That's fucking shit. Absolute pure shite.
130,000, because the times are tough. I'm telling you, you don't realize how bad times are. You know,
MotoGP is the cheapest form to go to, but I just think it's just not marketed to the public to get people back. I don't disagree. Times are tough. I get it, you know, but there's more people who were at fucking Mandalika races and the Indian race than a majority of the others. 2
years ago, okay, our grocery bills have gone up 300% in 2 years. 300
as everyone.
Yes.
Not saying anything about that. What I'm saying is
unbelievable how bad we're in this situation.
I would 100% agree with you if Formula One were not doing 100,000 people a day.
You know what? You have flashes and stuff like that. That's the exception.
No, so Jake. To go to a Formula One race is 3 or 4 times the price of a. So the money is around to go to motorsport. You know, and in the likes of Spain and Italy, where it's a big thing, the audiences are not, the bums are not going onto the seats.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll give you something that's really strange about the human psyche when they did it, and went back every time there was a recession or depression. You know, Formula One has that glitter and high ritzy glitter image.
It's a glam, yeah.
Yeah. When things get tough and you have a depression and you have a recession, what do people flock to, like a moth to a flame? Glitter. That sounds back-asswards, but it's true. Glitter. In the depression, every single movie had everybody in ties and tuxes.
You're just making my point. It's not being marketed correctly. It's not being pushed out there. Bringing it.
Oh yeah. I'm saying, what it's not marketed, but there's only a finite amount of money out there. Even if you market it right, there's only X amount. that you can get.
True, but like, listen, a biker is always going to choose to go to a bike race in a Formula 1 race.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
And the other thing is, everybody's so scared to death of their own shadow. Kids aren't riding. They haven't ridden motorcycles and mini bikes for 20 years.
I know, Jesus, it would be big in Ireland, England, Spain, all of that. Massive.
What do you mean?
The small riding, yeah. Sure, like the little fucking 80.
No, I'm all ears here. You have kids there, like the parents give kids.
We here now that the helmets will be wider than their shoulders. Yeah, racing.
No, not racing.
Yeah.
Just. I'm not talking about racing. I'm talking about the general public. The people get their kids mini bikes and stuff and let them use it.
Yeah. So yeah, bikes and quads and all of that shit. Yeah.
Oh my God, the world's going to come to the end. The kid's going to get killed. We'll stick them on pillows, stick them in front of a VCR or video game. They don't. Yeah, the United States is not the land of the brave. I'm telling you right now.
I know. Like no. My point is my point just is that, like, look, on average out of 22 races, that's 130,000 people over the weekend. It's not really something to be proud of for a global sport to have attendance of 22 events and they have that amount of people. Do you know what I mean?
Christ, I can't even get a World Superbike subscription. It won't allow me to buy it.
Well, that's actually be right. What was I going to say to you? Yeah, I think that's it. I think we'll wrap it up there for the old Christmas Day one.
Yeah.
At this stage, actually, on Christmas Day, I'll be full of turkey and maybe in food coma. Yeah,
you'll be full of booze and turkey. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah. Be disrespectful if you weren't.
I saw this thing, the Sport of 44. There is no conspiracy between Ducati and KTM and Aprilia. They said that as a flash thing. Ducati caught in conspiracy, blah blah blah, and I'm like, and then I turned the thing on, and it wasn't even anything.
And you were fucking idiot not to watch it. To be fair.
Like
you deserve
what the hell are they talking? It was so ridiculous. I had to turn it on. You know what I mean? It's like watching a car wreck on the side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah, well, look, don't be afraid to report those guys. But yeah.
Yes, bye.
Oh, look at you, popular. Hey. Yeah. That's your Christmas date, is it?
Yeah, I got a new phone. I can't get the shit to stop coming off.
That's what she said, is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll wrap it up there. Merry Christmas to everyone. Make sure to drink up and be merry and whatever. And sure, we'll see you all again next year.
Take it easy, folks.
Have a good one.